Yep, that Eclipses Time Transcends Death tour was a total blast. I just remember what was it? The Boston House in UK was really good. I mean, all the shows were really killer, but that one really stood out as being a crazy one. I guess UK is always pretty cool. Um, Also, Metal Means Fest in Belgium was really good. We played a whole bunch of really good ones. What was it? Brutal Assault. We played on that one, which of course is amazing. Always a hell of a killer time. Really, all the shows are really good. Just nice that there's such a great response for the band after so long. Something we never really expected. But yeah, I really had a great time on tour. Had some just yeah, everything was really good. That's all I can really say. Nothing really sucked about it at all. Yeah, that tour was great. Frank, I don't remember his last name properly, but Schippelvoort or something like that. It's a Dutch name. Really difficult for me to get it, not knowing Dutch at all. But anyway, yeah, Frank's been helping us out for quite a while now. Um, he's been doing a great job and a great guy. He's a great friend. So it's always really cool to work with somebody like that. As far as it does not mean that Kyle is no longer a part of Incantation. Um, Kyle is. He just can't tour much anymore because of his work. But I mean, he has a huge part in a lot of the issues in the band, and does a lot of um, songwriting and a lot of behind the scenes kind of stuff still. It's just that yeah, with he owns his own construction company, so it's really difficult for him to get um, out of work and not have things totally fall apart on his end. Um, yeah, as far as Shed the Skin, I love Shed the Skin. Has a bunch of my friends in the band, the guys from Ringworm and Ash Thomas from Estuary, and obviously Kyle, and just I like what they do. I like that style of, it's kind of like a death thrash kind of thing. So yeah, Shed the Skin's really great. And yeah, Kyle's also been working with Estuary lately, which is another band I really like too. So it's really awesome. It's like, I mean, it's not that Kyle isn't playing anymore, it's just that he can't tour. So, especially with our ridiculously long, busy touring schedule, and he can't do it. He's spending his time working on other bands and other projects when he's not working with us, which totally makes sense. I wouldn't expect him to sit at home and do nothing, waiting for us to come around. I mean, I would just be silly to even expect that. But yeah, I'm always looking forward to Kyle's work because Kyle and I really have a good musical connection. So usually what he does, you know, with Incan or without Incan, is usually something I really, really enjoy. So yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, we decided to go back with Relapse after a long time. I think they did a great job with the Profane Nexus album. Basically, it just seemed like the right decision to make. I mean, they've been doing a great job with everything as far as our back catalog and stuff, so there was no reason not to work with them. We were trying to find somebody new for this current album. As far as Listenable, we had a couple disagreements with them, but really the big issue was that they just didn't have the distribution that we needed in the U.S. For us being a U.S. band. When we first started working with him, well, I'll say we re-signed around the Vanquish and Vengeance time. You know, he said that he was working on some really good distribution for the U.S. and stuff, and it ended up never really coming together in a way that was good for us. Maybe it's fine for other bands and, you know, European bands, maybe it's not a problem, but us being a U.S. band, we want to definitely have, you know, our material easily available at a reasonable price in record stores, and we just weren't getting that with Listenable. So, you know, we wish Lauren all the best with the label, but it's, you know, it just wasn't the right place for us. Yeah, as far as Sonny's involvement with the band, yeah, it was. He started off where he just happened to be at the right place at the right time. I mean, we were recording the basic drum tracks of Dirges of Elysium in his home studio that he has. So um, when the situation came up that we needed a guitar player, you know, he was right there and seemed really hungry and interested in doing it. So, um, you know, it seemed like the answer was right in front of us as far as who to get to, you know, finish up some of the solos that we needed for Dirges and some of the rhythm stuff on Dirges. Yeah, basically kind of filled in the gap. And basically, you know, we did all the touring with Dirge of Elysium with Sonny, and you know, it just seemed right to you know, work with him on Profane Nexus, and it worked out really good. It seemed like the chemistry was going really well, but unfortunately, while we were recording the new album that we have coming up, unfortunately, Sonny did not have as much interest in doing things, um, you know, in a way that worked well with the band. I think it's just a situation where he's just too good of a guitar player and he wants to expand his sound more, which totally makes sense. And, you know, it's sad, but Incantation just isn't the place for him to express himself the way he feels he needs to. You know, of course, we're very sorry to see him go. We actually, you know, really like him and wish him the very best. It just, you know, sometimes things just don't work out in the long term. And just look out for some really killer stuff, you know, by Sonny Lombardozzi. I don't know if he's going to do a solo stuff or work with another band, but I'm sure whatever he does is going to be really kick-ass and super talented. And we really appreciate all the time we got to work with him. It's been an absolute pleasure. He's a, you know, amazing musician, a hard worker, a very nice guy. So, and I totally understand his side of things. I mean, he's extremely, you know, way too talented to play in this band. I mean, we're more of like, you know, cavemen just hitting on rocks. Yeah, we've been doing this for a super long time, and basically, I just really wanted to create music with a really dark aura, something, you know, kind of push the limits of darkness, heaviness, brutality. Um, you know, I mean, I was really influenced by, you know, bands like Possessed, early Necrophagia, Necrovore, early Morbid Angel, you know, stuff like that, early Death and everything. And I just really wanted to push the limits further, you know, go the next step, but to have that kind of really dark, you know, blasphemous feeling, kind of like what you have on Seven Churches from Possessed. Was a big influence on us early on, especially. As far as, riff writing and stuff like that, really just, the dark stuff just really came natural to me. And it's become a form of expression for me, so it's something I kind of have to do. When I don't do it, you just don't feel right and don't feel comfortable. So I'd be doing music either way. If it was, where we are with Incantation, or if Incantation never took off, I'd still be writing music because it's just part of, one of the senses, I guess. But yeah, there's no real secret to it. It's just, you're trying to use your imagination to express, the feelings that I have and stuff like that. It's just very, very organic, very pure, natural. It just, I really like the dark side of, life. It's intriguing, so I kind of expressed that with the riffing and, ideas that I have musically. Yeah, it's kind of crazy because sometimes I just get very inspired, and I kind of feel like I have to write something and express myself musically. It's really I guess it's a cool thing because I have outlet like Incantation to express this stuff, and it's really great that I'm able to find other musicians that are able to work with me and feel the same way about the kind of music I feel is very important for me to do. Well, as far as what tunes are we playing currently? Well, I mean, we always mix it up. It's not really, I don't know. We don't want to do like all the same songs every tour. I mean, there's a few songs that ended up becoming like crowd favorites when we play live that we like to try to add, but really we try to mix it up really good. I don't know, I feel that we have enough quality songs throughout our musical career that we could mix it up really well all the time and give people some surprise songs that they wouldn't expect off different albums. I mean, I think on that Eclipse Time, Transcends Death, we added a few more older songs to kind of celebrate the beginnings of the band, but it's not something, we do all the time. We mix everything up from all eras of the band, and they work really good all together. It, I think the vibe is really awesome when we mix up our set in a proper way. As far as gear goes, for myself, I mean, I've been playing on BC Rich guitars for quite a while. I am getting a SP custom guitar made. It's a handmade guitar, and it's basically based off of the stuff that I like, which is kind of the BC Rich Mockingbird and stuff like that. But besides that, I use powered by Omega cabinets. I use Revolt amplifiers. Both companies are really great quality. I mean, the sound and the power that comes out of them is totally killer. I just got a killer new Inky case. They're really cool band. As far as strings, I use Kurt Mangling strings. I also got a killer a new cabinet case for my Power by Omega cabs from Calzone cases. It's a company out of the U.S. Really killer. Besides that, I don't know. I use was it In-Tune guitar picks, and recently I gotten some like a new leather strap from Digger Leather, another company out of the U.S. And of course, I always use Kaler tremolos. They're just, for me, it's the best. Okay, as far as Ibex Moon is concerned, yes, it's dead as far as a label goes. It just was getting to be too much work, and I wasn't able to make enough money to kind of keep it going. There was also, at that time, there was some issues in my personal life that caused me to focus on other aspects of my life than spending 20 hours of my day working on Ibex Moon Records. It was a interesting and great experience to do the label, but it was just really difficult to do the label and do the band at full force. And I gotta tell you, playing in a band is way more fun than running a record label. But I mean, I was able to do some amazing stuff with such some amazing bands. Obviously, Asphyx, Death Brutal Way was a great release I did, and Master Slaves to Society is an amazing album by Master. I mean, it's actually one of my favorite Master albums, and I was fortunate enough to put it out. We did, Denial Fiend, 2 of those albums, which were great. Got to do one with legendary Cam Lee on vocals, the first one. The second one, we had Blaine from The Accused on vocals. I mean, to work with such amazing musicians like that. I mean, also, we had Terry Butler on bass, Sam Williams on guitar, it was like Kurt from Nasty Savage on drums, and then they had Rob from DRI on drums. Just a phenomenal lineup for that Denial Fiend stuff. But, a lot of great stuff. Headhunter DC, Thorn of Fire from Chile. I mean, just a whole bunch of stuff. Obviously, my other band I played in called Funerus. We did 2 of those records. And there was just so much I can't even remember at the moment, but I just know that it was, very much an honor. Oh yeah, we did Fatalist, which was a really good one. Grave Hill, which is also a really great band. Cardiac Arrest, how can I forget them? They're like one of my favorites. I did Estuary. I mean, really, it's actually a really killer lineup of bands. It's sad that at the time of doing the label, illegal downloading was getting super rampant, and I just wasn't able to make the money to keep things going. And like I said, the amount of time I was putting in, I was making like, $1 an hour if I'm lucky or something like that. But it was cool, and I had a great time, and I thank everybody for working with me and believing in me. It's been an absolute honor to work. I'm not exactly sure. I think around 2015 I stopped playing for Funerus. I just couldn't continue doing it with all the work that I was doing with Incantation, and I just felt like I wasn't going to do something half-ass band-wise. I know they, want to continue and want to do a lot of stuff, and I totally understand that they got to do what they got to do, which is totally cool. The band's getting some great opportunities, though. I mean, they're playing Maryland Death Fest this year, and I know they played a show in New York City recently with Mortician and stuff, so it's good to see the band up and going. I mean, the band obviously means a lot to me, musically and whatnot. I always had a great time playing in Funerus, so it was kind of like once it wasn't not becoming as fun for me to do. I knew it was time for me to go because that's kind of the association I had with it. But what's it? As far as new material goes, I really don't know what they're planning on doing as far as new material. I know, the Black Death EP was, I guess that's the last thing I recorded with them. What was it? Alvin, he's actually always been a big fan of Funerus. So when we decided to do work with Frank, I can't pronounce his last name, Shibblport, who also have sessions for Incantation. When we decided to get him to play on the Black Death EP, it just seemed, why not let Alvin contribute to it? I mean, we wrote the songs, I think, pretty much Jill and I, and actually Sam, the former drummer, wrote the songs pretty much. But we let Alvin kind of add in his flavor to it and stuff like that, which was a lot of fun for me to do. I mean, Alvin's a great guy, and it's awesome to be able to work with him. Yep. Yes, the Rotting Spiritual Embodiment live album was, I'm pretty sure it was the idea of Roy Fox. I mean, Roy Fox at that time used to kind of help us out at a lot of shows and stuff like that. So he used to also record a lot of stuff or make sure there were soundboards done at the shows and stuff like that. So, I don't know, a couple years back, he brought up to me that he was going to release the Rotting Spiritual Embodiment live, and I was totally down with it. I just wanted to make sure that the quality was going to be, something that I felt comfortable releasing. So, I wanted to be a part of it. But, I mean, that era of the band, 1991, was great and a special time in the band. I mean, I think everybody involved in the band would appreciate that. I mean, we were working really hard, just had a good vibe. The vision of the band was really starting to come together, which was really nice. I don't know. I just, for me, it's fun to listen to some of that older stuff that we did. I don't know what else. I don't know. Yeah, it's cool. I don't know. I'm down with it. I think it's cool. I understand that, it's a good historical piece to listen to for fans of the band. I know any bands that I'm a fan of, I love hearing some of their older stuff and hearing, how they became into what, they were, are, or however you want to put it. So, yeah, it's cool. I'm down with it. Well, it's awesome that you really enjoy the designs and the quality of our shirts. We take a lot of pride in trying to make sure our shirts are the best quality. Also, print wise, as far as and quality of the material, all that kind of stuff. You want to make sure that it's gonna last. But yeah, we've been very fortunate. We had some really great artists, help us out throughout the years. Chris Moyen and Dahmer Art and a few others. Christophe Bates did a lot of the designs for a bunch of years. Now, the guys from Hell's Headbangers been helping us out with layout stuff too, and everything Hell Headbangers touches is amazing. So they're doing a great job, and they're actually helping us out, a lot with that kind of stuff. Some of the stuff I do myself, I'm not really that great at doing. You know, layouts and graphic art stuff, but I do the best that I can. At least I know kind of the ballpark vision I'm looking for, but it's definitely not as good as somebody who's more professional at it. But yeah, and we also have JSR do some of our designs too. Did some great designs for our last tour. And if you guys are interested in any merch, you can always go to incantation.com. That's our personal web store, and also JSR Music. They have some touring stock and stuff like that. And I would say, but our Bandcamp site, I guess you can go to for that too. But those are the main sites if you want to, support the band directly. Those are the ways to get merch and not have to worry about bootlegs, because like most other old school death metal bands, we've been bootlegged like crazy by a lot of different people across the world. People, for some reason, think that they, have the right to, make and sell our stuff without even, being kind enough to contact us and try to work out some kind of deal. Okay, as far as stuff I've been listening to lately, well, one offhand is the brand new Kurnugia. That's Kurnugia. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but the last recording they did is totally badass. It should be out by the time this interview is out. Definitely worth checking it out. Totally killer stuff. Also, the band Mortifum, really great. I don't know a lot about the band, but the last album Kyle played for me recently, and really killer stuff. I really enjoyed the just the overall vibe of the album. It's great to see that some real death metal out there. It's really awesome. Also, a band called Malefic Levitation. Some really good stuff. Some really great atmosphere in the music. Also, like we mentioned earlier, Shed the Skin is also another one. The new album by them is really killer. Also, Ascended Dead. There's some really killer stuff. Totally just killer old school dark death vibe. As far as the last few albums I bought, let me think. Well, I bought the new Possessed album, Revelations of Oblivion. A really great album. So happy that Possessed is back and in killer form. Even seen them play live a couple of times. It's totally awesome. Totally awesome. Also, the Candlemass album, The Door to Doom. That was really great album too. Really happy to have their older vocalist back. Totally classic. Actually seen them live too, and totally killer. Heavy as fuck. Also, the Mortifum, The Scourge from the Psychic Deaths. Actually, I did pick that one up too recently after hearing it from Kyle, because I thought it was so good. No, that's pretty much all I can think of at the moment. I just can't really think of anything else, but I'm sure I picked up other ones. But those three are really good choices anyway. Obviously, thanks everybody for the support. Thank you for the interview. Really looking forward to a killer next run. We have a new album coming out soon, which will have a release date real soon. And we're really happy with it. I think it came out great. I think all the death metal and Incantation fans are going to enjoy it. Also look out for the album I did vocals for with AJ and Bob, called Beast of Revelation. Really great Total Doom stuff. Totally proud to be a part of that. Also, Tribes of Pazuzu is another band that I did some guitar work for. So definitely check them out as well. Also, Obviously check out incantation.com for, band info and stuff, and look out for a new album that will be coming out soon. As far as all the Ukraine fucks out there, man, we never got to play Ukraine. We've been wanting to. Every time there's always some excuse why we can't. So hopefully somebody in Ukraine will help make this happen, because we really want to play for all you guys. Anyway, see you guys out on the road. Hail the goat, and thank you so much for the support. It's been 30 years for us doing death metal, and you guys, without you guys, it wouldn't be able to happen. So thank you so much. Hell yeah, motherfuckers.